And hello everyone, Gabe the Izzard here. Today I will be going on a walk, but I have to do something fairly important first. I need to wash my little mule, Pepe. Want to tag along?
Bum ba bum 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 ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum bum ba bum ba bum ba bum bum.
Bird, you did that on purpose. It's like the birds know that you just washed your car, and so they do that on it. Well, today we're going to be starting out right here in downtown Little Rock at the Clinton School of Public Service by way of the University of Arkansas. This is actually the old Choctaw Route train station that was built in 1899 to serve basically the Gulf states to Choctaw, Oklahoma. So we're going to start our route here, go by Heifer International, around the backside of the Presidential Library, and then on along to the River Trail, which runs alongside the Arkansas River down to the Broadway Bridge, make a loop, and come back. And I almost tripped and fell. You got that. One thing that sucks. Bad knees. It's a miracle what those will do. So we're at the William Jefferson Clinton Presidential Center and Park. This is also the end of the Metro streetcar. This is the end of the line for it on, I think, the blue route. There's not a whole lot of routes that it'll go because it basically is a loop to nowhere. The loop, as you can see right here, we're on the side of the Presidential Library. But as you can, back to the streetcars, there's basically the blue line that runs to right there. And then it has a loop that runs in the downtown from down Markham, connecting to President Clinton Avenue, cuts down, I think it's Sherman, one block over to 2nd Street, and then goes up 2nd Street to Spring Street, and then from Spring it just comes right back around to Markham, just a loop. And then it also will cross over the Arkansas River into North Little Rock, into the downtown area, which is called Argenta. Now we're walking up on the Heifer International complex, which they call it Heifer Village. It's a nice little wetland park. There's little trails around here. This is what people in the city are wanting to refer to as the East Village. It's the beginning of the East Village because we are on the east side of Interstate 30. That's that interstate right down there. But this is the headquarters for Heifer International. They do lots of worldwide work. They most notably got started for going to like third world countries, Africa in particular, and would bring them like livestock and teach them how to raise the livestock, use the livestock, replenish the livestock, and become like self-sufficient with it, because you know hunger in those third world countries is a major thing. Not sure what these plants are, but they're pretty cool, pretty tall. But this is the headquarters here, and then over here is the cafeteria and gift shop. I guess this is more like the visitors area. Murphy Keller Education Center. But this is where you can go on field trips and learn about what they do here. I went on a field trip. They used to be out on the outskirts of town, and I went on a field trip with a church group one time, and they had raised cattle and stuff out there, and they fed us hamburgers, which was part of the cattle that was out there. And I don't know if it was the cows that I ate from the burger that I ate, but on the way back I got sick. Here's the gift shop. Yeah, a little sucker. They got shirts. Let's see if you can see that. Alpaca Palooza. Alpacas, they're more like a South America thing, right? Looks like a beehive right there. But I ended up getting sick in the van. We were almost back, and I threw up in the van in a ladies' microwave popcorn bag. How's it going? Yeah, we're making our way down through a grove of magnolias. Magnolias become pretty good sized trees, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how these grow together. They don't get real tall, but they do cover a lot of shaded area. So as you can see, I'm coming up on the backside of the Presidential Library. This is a series of trails, and we're coming up on the actual river trail here. So if you took the trail this way towards that building, it'll actually join, and it gives some markers, and it will take you to the airport, the Little Rock port, or the David Terry Lock and Dam. Like if you're riding a bike, you can do that. That's like 10 miles away. It's not really made for walking. This is kind of the end of the walking area. You could walk that way, but it would just be a headache. Long walk of nothing really. So you walk through a neighborhood. So here's the backside of the library. I haven't really been back here since before it was built. There used to be neighborhoods behind here that had been long abandoned, and a friend of mine, we ride our bikes down here. I don't know if you can see this. It's a pretty cool little circle area. And there's lights around all these circles, but they're not always lit up. It's kind of weird, but their lighting is available. And there's the Rock Island Bridge. In the foreground. How's it going? Alright, here's a good shot of the backside of the library. And right there below it in this patio area is a restaurant 42. after the 42nd president, Bill Clinton. Been there twice. 50-50. Once it was good, once not so good. That is a pedestrian bridge right there that joins Little Rock to North Little Rock on either a 3-mile loop from here across down to the Broadway Bridge and back across and over to here, or you could go all the way down to the Big Dam Bridge by way of Burns Park, and it's a ride. Maybe 20 miles total if you do the loop. So we got some rain, and it has got the river up some. It's the Cindy Coates Miller sculpture and bridge that goes over to that sandbar. One thing about the Arkansas River is it's taught from a young age, do not swim in it. It has undercurrents that can suck you down, and it doesn't take much. And you will be pulled under and you will drown and die. Now this is actually like the really footpath of the river trail. One thing about this, there's lots of sculptures down here. We'll see a lot along the way. A man and his dog. Probably had to turn around. Man, that river really is moving right over there. Of course, you can fish in it. You can catch some catfish, carp, drum, gar, lots of different things. This is a newer pedestrian area, and the end of last year we got lots of rain and it flooded completely. That building right over there was completely underwater, along with that levee system right over there. And you can see there's turtle, little turtle. Probably gonna have to turn back. I'm just gonna show that this is underwater. Some turtles. Lots of garbage. So the city street runoff runs into the river. That's why, you got people that throw their garbage out and it just ends up in the river. They do try to have ways to catch the debris, which there's one right over there. It's kind of like a filtering system from the street runoff, but litter bugs will ruin it. And this really sucks because here is the water. It is under the water. And if it wasn't, I would walk right under that pavilion and right up those stairs, and I'd be on my way. But I got to turn back. It just gives a good shot of this here. I'll just pick right back up from the man and his dog. And I'm back at the man and his dog. One of the worst things about coming out here on the trails, people that do not clean after their dogs. Step in it right in the middle of the sidewalk. As you can see the park, that's where I just was. Comes right along here. And I turned around right there. This is where I would have came up from that pavilion. Right there. Right down here is that litter trap I was telling you about. The drainage comes right into that little box there, and it strains out any debris that it can. It's really nice what they've done to this park here. This is good for sledding when it snows, the few times that it does snow, and then lots of people will slide down these hills all around the year with cardboard. There's actually a couple kids right up there who might go down the hill with some cardboard, although it doesn't work that great. But before they made this park, which has been about 15 or so years ago, it looked just like this. There was no way to get down here. There was no path, no stairways. It was the end of town right here. You didn't go past here. When you did, it was thick brush just like this. The only people you might see down here would be like a random homeless person. And I came down here when Willie Nelson was playing at the amphitheater, and I crawled all the way through all of that brush. It was the thickest stuff. I lost a shirt. I was covered in ticks, but I got in to see Willie Nelson. It was 100% worth it. Under the bridge downtown. Is that a ghost? Casper? Is that you? Oh, or is that Casper? Some people that went and found some cardboard and they're making their way over. We are actually on the back side of the River Market. Hello. And it is this is the back side of the Arkansas Game and Fish Education Center. It's, well, they call it the Whit Stevens Jr. Central Arkansas Nature Center. But this is where kids can come in and go on field trips and see stuffed animals, fish, just what, like, the natural state is. See what nature looks like. And of course down here they have different types of natural flowers that are in Arkansas. They're everywhere here. This is the way to the backstage area of the First Security Amphitheater, which used to be just called the Little Rock Amphitheater. It's just called the Amphitheater. This is the backstage area where buses will come whenever bands are touring. And walking up on the backside of the River Market Pavilion where it says Little Rock, or you might see Tut Rock. Side view of the amphitheater and the restrooms. They have this, usually this whole area is open. You can walk down there anytime you please. And I mean, there's people that will do yoga down there on this stage, just, as they please. But during the Corona, my Corona, they have it closed off. Crews down here. That was a shot of the amphitheater. If you've ever been here, if you were here 10 years ago, 10 was redone probably about 5 or 6 years ago. But you would remember that it was just a white and blue tent type material that was covering it. It was the worst place to play during rain because the stage would get wet. And they added that awning to make it a little more weather resistant. I guess it works. It's about the only thing that they did. But before that, it was just a flat piece of grass. And then they made it, then they put a, God man, that was probably 35 years ago. It was nothing but grass, and they poured a concrete pad. And they launched fireworks off of that concrete pad right down there. And we were just laying on the hill. It was the greatest fireworks ever. They were just right there in our face. Now we're walking into the, I don't know what this is called. I always call it just maybe it's a Junction Bridge Park, River Market Park. That's the Junction Bridge, which it's a bridge that you can take to get to North Little Rock, pedestrian style. It does have an elevator, but I do not think that it's working right now. Or maybe, I don't know. Corona does some weird things. But there it is. That is, all of this area has been redone in the last 5 to 10 years. Progressively getting better. I remember whenever this fence wasn't even around the amphitheater, you could just walk into just about any show you wanted to right over there. I actually did that one time, and this little kid had $1 in his hand. He was probably like 11 years old, and he came up to me and said, "Can I buy some weed?" And I was like, "Kid, I don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even think about that." And he said, "I'm the police." I don't know if that was, it seemed really weird, so I don't know if he was part of a police sting buzz or bust, but that was a weird thing. So right here, Little Rock is named after, was named by the French explorer La Salle, and he came up the Arkansas River. He was a French explorer. And he got to this point. There's an outcropping, which is basically what is standing right here. It's not these rocks. These rocks are all imported. The rocks that maybe like where they're standing, where those people were standing, they actually went up to about right there. And it was what was a little rock outcropping. Further up the river on the north side, there's a huge, tall, it's not a mountain, but it's a large rock hill. That's called Big Rock, so he called this Le Petit Roc, Little Rock. And this is a plaque for it. 1722 is when he came through here. But yeah, they added all of this in the last 10 years, 15 years. I mean, 20 years ago they made a big push to start making this a bigger area. So across the Junction Bridge, you can go right across there, and there's a submarine that you can actually visit. It's on the North Little Rock side. It's called the USS Razorback, and it has public tours for a small fee. And there's also a tugboat over there, the USS Hoga, and it was a tugboat that was actually in use at Pearl Harbor when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. And the city got it. I think they bought it or something. But the city bought that submarine for like $100,000, like less than a house, and it's totally operational. You could, they floated this thing up all the way on its own power until it got probably about 20 miles away from here, and the river was too shallow. It can travel in 8 feet of deep water, but it was 6 feet deep, so they had to put barges on it, like buoys, so that they could get enough buoyancy to get that thing up. So just have to do this. Call me a kid. Oh God, that looked like urine. Smells like it too. Somebody urinated in this tube. This is not a sewer pipe. It may look like a sewer pipe, but it is not. That's a splash pad. It's not operational right now due to Corona-19. My Corona. So, here we go with some sculptures. Sculptors are the people that make them. Sculptures are what they make. But this area has been around for a good bit. Riverfest has been going on here for 40 years. Almost 40 years. And this area was also featured in the movie God's Not Dead 3. There's a spot right over there. All around here, really. And a friend of mine, Ronnie James, was in the movie. He's just sitting there playing a guitar, and they allowed him just to play his guitar and be in the movie. It was pretty cool. This is the Belvedere Pavilion. Well, hello, sir. Where are you going today? Are you expecting some rain? Why, you have an umbrella. Oh, I guess you can only see out of one eye. Carry on. So that turkey, I guess, is the leader of these geese. I don't know. But as I was saying, that's the Belvedere Pavilion. You can rent that out through the city. I did one time. My band played there for one of our bandmates' birthdays. And this whole area was completely crowded with people. We had no idea who it was. And man, it was pretty awesome. It was a fun night. There's me and Raiden Raiden's pushing old grandpa in the wheelbarrow. That guy has some humongous feet. That is a big foot. Bigfoot? Okay, so now I'm walking under the Main Street Bridge, and that that just happens to be under the bridge downtown. Under the bridge downtown. All of our bridges are pedestrian friendly. The interstate bridges aren't. 430 and 430 and 30 aren't. Carry on. As you can see, I'm only showing a few of the sculptures. There are quite a few of them down here, ranging from just regular old people to abstract to animals made of wire. There's this lady. It's with her Forever Rose. She kind of looks like the Lorelei on the Rhine River. The Rhine River. Okay, so just a little little bit of info. You can see there it says 40, 45, and 50. So that does not mean that the water is that deep. That is the distance you have from the water to the top of that bridge. So if it reached the 50, you would have 50 feet from the water up to the top of that. And that is because the river has lots of barge traffic on it. We have, soybean, cotton, whatever. I mean, they bring all kinds of things on this river. And it is up. It is way up. Typically you can go right down there and there's a little landing. And it is completely covered. It's actually the landing, there's a sidewalk that travels along that side, all along the river. Can't do it now. It's too high. Too much rain. You can see the swirls, and that water is moving fast, and it's like you can see it's going different directions. That's going this way, these are going this way, and I can guarantee you underneath there it's pooling and sucking. Make no doubt, if you swim in the Arkansas River, you will die. If you can swim good, it doesn't matter. It can pull you under. And there's catfish the size of sanitation trucks. I heard it from a reliable source. He was made of wood and had a nose about 3 foot long. But I still would not swim in that. Now watch this. Is that a shot? That shot. Who planted that tree right there in front of that? If they hadn't had planted that tree there, I would have been able to put the sun right in the middle of that circle. Alright, so you can see that is pedestrian area. People will go right down there and fish, sit. Typically it's about 6 feet below that. River's pretty high. Right there, right down there is where the post is sticking out right there. That's a boat dock. You can come up, tie your boat off. Back in the day, because on the 4th of July and on Riverfest on Memorial Day weekend, they will launch fireworks from the Main Street Bridge there. It used to be the Osborne fireworks spectacular. I don't know who does it anymore, but boats would line up right out here, all through here, and watch the fireworks. But not so much anymore. I don't know if it's just because people just don't own boats as much anymore. I've never owned a boat that could do that. I've owned a canoe, but there's no way I would do that. All right. So basically, coming up on the halfway point, if you're wanting to actually see where we were, I parked right there. I greeted you right here. We walked behind this building, off map, along here, along the river. See, they don't even have the trail on there anymore. Picked up that, walked behind, all the way. We saw the pavilion. See, they still have the white and blue tent. I told you. That's the way they had it. We walked down here, under the bridge on top, past the hotel. We are right here. We're gonna walk to right around here, and then we're gonna catch some more on our way back. That's what we did. We're about halfway. Now, if you just wanted to do the walk and not flap your yap or say anything, you can make this easy round trip in 40 minutes. But if you want to take your time and really explore and see everything, give yourself about an hour and a half. It's a really nice spot. So now right here is a grassy knoll. This is not the grassy knoll, but it is a grassy knoll. And this is you can stand here and watch the fireworks. As you can see, it'd be a perfect place to see the fireworks on the Main Street Bridge right there. That's the Broadway Bridge, and this is the pedestrian entrance to the Broadway Bridge. Used to feed homeless down there. They don't allow that anymore. They don't like homeless being fed. They, whoever they is. This is the back of the DoubleTree, formerly known as the Camelot Hotel. And those are private condos. You can buy those. That one on the top, it was about $1 million. There's a lady standing on a ring, balancing. So this is the entrance to the Broadway pedestrian bridge, which is that bridge right there with the two architectural sound hoops. I don't know, not loops. I don't know, it's going to be a loop. So quick note on the Broadway Bridge. It's a brand new bridge. They built it about 2 years ago. They part of the American Rejuvenation Act or something like that. The Broadway Bridge was set to be destroyed, and they set up dynamite all over it. They closed it down. They got it prepared. Everybody came down to watch the bridge get destroyed into the river. They blew it up. Explosions. The bridge didn't move. It didn't budge. So they scratched their heads for about a week, and they're like, more dynamite. So they loaded that sucker up with some more dynamite and blew that sucker again. It still didn't go down. And so everybody was saying, why would you replace this if you said it was in such bad shape that it can go in any minute, but it withstood dynamite. They ended up pulling it down and rebuilding it, and it's a nice looking bridge. It looks like something you'd see in Germany. But they made shirts that said, I want my relationships to be as strong as the Broadway Bridge. That's true. So now we're in a little kids area. Bikes don't come with the kids area, but there are a little playground and whatnot. And there's a hippopotamus emerging from the rock. There's a hippo. Excuse me, I know you're not black, but have you any wool? What's that? 3 bags full? Thank you. Yeah, a little tunnel area, and with the spongy stuff, swing set. Pretty cool little spot. And of course, my favorite spot is coming up right here. I'll pass. And here we go. That was a masterpiece. How's it going? All right, so we are on the backside of the Marriott Hotel, which is also known as the, what was this one? The Ducks. Oh, God. Peabody. The Peabody. Used to be the Peabody. And before that, it was the Excelsior. And the Excelsior kind of became famous because a certain someone showed a certain something to another someone, and it was, she didn't like it, so she filed suit. And if you're wondering what that something was, it could have been, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? There's a little sculpture garden, and you can walk in here. I'm just not doing it. You can walk in there and see those sculptures. I just don't want to do it. And I can tell you what, I wish I had the sounds that she's listening to going on in my head. She is getting down. I like it. I like it. I know it has to be some South Arkansas River blues going on. Will you people please put some clothes on? You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You're in public. They're naked right in front of that deer. Bambi, close your eyes. A little spirally, twisty thing. And another spirally, twisty thing. Spirally twisties. And here's another meshy, metally. Actually, that looks like one of those things that you slice apples with. Cube up some apples. And there's a horse. You again. I got my eye on you. So, we're making our way back under the Main Street Bridge, which is, you know. So these are like little steps that are put in. So during Riverfest, which Riverfest is a festival that's been going on in Little Rock for, like I say, 40 years. But then a couple of years ago, the city said it was a city-owned festival. They said, we're not going to do it anymore. Then some private promotion bought the rights to the Riverfest, and they put on a concert, and it sucked. So after they did that, that was maybe last year. This year is no Riverfest due to my corona. Oh, the little girl playing hula hoop. You know, father teaching his son how to tie a shoe. He needs to learn how to tie his own shoe. That kid's like 4 years old. Tie your own shoe, little punk. But anyway, so Riverfest is up in the air. Who knows if it'll ever happen again. This is not part of the park's attraction. It's just a mud hole. So there's a pavilion. You can rent that pavilion out, although the public does use that pavilion as they want.
Ya se fueron para allá.
So we're coming. There's a porta-john, just in case you need a poo. Sometimes you have emergencies. You have to use it. I say use it. If you have a place to go, go. Don't hold it. Be miserable. Hello. Alright. I'll swing over here and check out this big guy over here. This is a sculpture from a sculptor that he made these big Indian heads, and there is one in every state. There are actually 79 of these that are similar to this all around the United States. Love his life. Peter Wolf Toth. That was dedicated in 1975. That's 45 years ago to you and me. Take this little. So this is a little kids area. Slide, little grotto, climbing rocks, a little springy, climby thing. But this is one of my favorite little spots. This gets so cool during the summer. It's cool right now. It probably dropped 5 or 6 degrees just walking in here. I thought for sure I would run into my assistant, but I haven't seen her. And I've been marching. Of course, she went the other way. She went the wrong way. What can I say? So all during the corona, my corona. Before, there was nobody in it. Like, it is packed in here. It is packed. There were no cars before. Now things are kind of getting back to normal. But ever since the corona, people have been coming up here and skating. And it is it's like the coolest thing. I really appreciate skaters. And I'm not talking about skateboarders. I'm talking about roller skates. And just coming up here and roller skating. I mean, if you got your own skates, why go anywhere else? He's going. It's like walking on ice. Jamming. Back in the early 80s, man, that was the thing. That was the thing to do. Go roller skate. That big fat thing. So we are on the backside of the River Market Pavilion. Basically one block off of President Clinton Avenue. To need a point of reference, that's Sticky Fingers. That's the police substation. That's Cash Restaurant, or Cache. And I want to show you something that is gone but not forgotten. The Underground Pub. This was one of my favorite places. It was British themed. And they had this old telephone booth out here. But it's not with telephones. They have books. It's a free book exchange. You can get a book there. There's some pretty thick ones. I Believe in Jesus. The Country Milan. Oh. Get well soon. I was gonna come over here and tell you about these gas meters. One time during Riverfest, back in the old drinking days, I drank too much, and I got sick, and I threw up right over there, and it was in front of about 20,000 people. There were so many people. They were screaming. There was a Kenny Chesney concert playing right there, and they had just let out, and so I'm blowing chunks right there. It was disgusting. Here you see it says Museum Center. This is the back side of the Museum of Discovery, which is a children's museum, and it is you can access it from the other side. All right, we're on the almost on the home stretch. As you can see, there's people out. People are out exercising. It's not really a shady place to be. It's good to come out. Sometimes, with any other big city, you're gonna find some shady cats. You might see some vagrants that look a little sketcy. I had an arch nemesis that was, every time he saw me, I never said a word to this guy. I'm a loving person. I care about everyone. He hated me. This is the entrance to that wilderness center. Side note, we used to jump that fence and come down here and sneak into the shows right here before all this was built. It was just back of buildings. But back to my arch nemesis. He hated me. And I would be driving down the street and he would be just yelling out in the traffic, and then he would make eye contact with me just like this. And he would just mean mug me, and he'd point sometimes too. And I mean, I'm in my car and I'm freaking out. If I saw him in the River Market, I would cross the street and walk on the other side of the street, because this guy, he acted psychotic. And then one day, he was gone. Haven't seen him since. I figure he's one of three things. He's moved on, moved to another town. A lot of these homeless people will jump a train and go to another city. They might have done that. He might be in jail. He was psychotic. Or he could be X's in the eyes. He could be passed away. Whatever. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with him anymore, because, man, he scared me. My arch nemesis. One time we were driving down the street, and he had his pants all the way down, and he was screaming at the top of his lungs. My daughter saw his stuff. And I was like, that's my guy. That's my guy. All right. So we are making it. We are almost here. I love this sculpture. This is probably one of my most favorite ones. It reminds me of my grandma. Just a country lady showing her grandson what's up, showing him things. Children, if you're tired, keep going. If you're hungry, keep going. If you're scared, keep going. If you want a taste of freedom, keep going. That's Harriet Tubman. I guess that's a sculpture of Harriet Tubman. I don't know what she looked like. Weren't they wanting to put her on the $20 bill? Quick side note, my daughter was about 4 years old. We had snow down here. Nobody used to come out here. There was nobody out here. She did not want to go down here. I flipped her around, put her on her back right here, head first, and I slid her right down that hill. She remembers that to this day. She probably said she didn't like it, but I know better. I know she did. Because she didn't cry. That was one of her things. She didn't cry. She liked it. Tough them up. Suck it up, buttercup. That was one of my things. I always tell her to suck it up. You going? Let's go. Let's see it. No, go down the hill. There he is. Good job. This is awesome. My Fitbit alerted me to 10,000 steps. That's nice to know. Although my hip probably would tell you that I walked 20,000. I probably did kind of pick up the pace a little bit. I was looking for my assistant. Still haven't found my assistant. Who knows where she might be? So now Riverfest, they'll put right over there, they'll put a stage up, and then this grassy area will be where the people stand for the show. There'll be rides right over there. But like I say, that's all kind of up in the air now. Now we're on the higher end, the upper part of the river trail. This is the end of President Clinton Avenue. Dead ends of this circle, which is his library, William Jefferson Clinton Presidential Library. As some people like to call it, the mobile home on stilts. What's that, ice cream? Ice cream man? What's that, ice cream man? What's that like? That doesn't look like an ice cream man. He looks like probably like a pedophile or something. Like a pedo? Like a dude in a regular truck? It's a dude in a regular truck playing ice cream music. Like, I'm a little kid. This souped up four-wheel drive is the new van. This fountain. Oh God, that feels good. That feels good. Oh, it smells like a swimming pool. God, that smells so good. You see, people are getting their pictures taken right over there. Getting prom pictures, or graduation pictures, I mean. Prom, God. I have a senior myself. You know, they're not able to graduate until July. Prom? Nope. Forget it. No prom. Golly, there's lots of people out here. Quick side note. This is a touchscreen. It can be directional. It's called City Post. You can touch it. You take selfies. It does all kinds of things. My son put this in. Atta boy. There you go, boy. There's the skyline. Beautiful Little Rock. Clouds. It's a really nice, beautiful day. I mean, it's like only 77 degrees out here. It's wonderful. Can you imagine this this station here? People were getting on this train and going right across that train tracks right over there. It was, God, what a beautiful red brick building. Used to be the spaghetti warehouse. I mean, like I ate a spaghetti dinner in there. Actually, I ate veal parmesan, and it was delicious. I think that it was a chain restaurant of the spaghetti warehouse. I'm not too sure. I think it was a chain. All right. Well, I guess this is it. Remember, subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I want you to like my videos, but whatever you do, I'm not going to hold it against you. And rock the bell. Rock the bell. Look at this beautiful, beautiful sun. I'll see you next time. Thanks for tagging along.